Show me a new car buyer who hasn't at least considered a crossover SUV and I'll show you a liar. The not too big, not too small body type is taking over, and no brand is immune from its mass appeal.
Take, for example, Nissan and Mazda. Both Japanese brands have tried their hand at crafting the perfect compact SUV with the Nissan Juke and the Mazda CX-3. But which one got it right?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a lightweight showdown. In this corner, we have what is typically the top-selling offering in its segment, the Mazda CX-3. Tried and tested, it has good looks, reliability and name recognition on its side. And in this corner, a challenger appears, the newly redesigned Nissan Juke. Sure, it's a little weird looking, but it has a great personality.
For this comparison, we're testing the flagship offerings in both ranges. For the CX-3, that means sampling the top-spec Akari LE all-wheel drive model, priced from $38,450 plus on-road costs. We're comparing that to the Nissan Juke Ti, which is front-wheel drive and priced from $36,490 plus on-road costs.
So with literally $2,000 and some spare change between them, what's actually separating these two petrol-powered crossovers?
Engine-wise, all Jukes get the same powertrain regardless of grade. A 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine making 84 kilowatts of power and 180 Nm of torque, with a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission sending power to the front wheels. Meanwhile, the CX-3 Akari LE gets a slightly more powerful 110 kilowatt, 195 Nm, 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine that drives all 4 wheels via a 6-speed automatic transmission.
The CX-3 and the Juke are basically the same length, width and height, with only a few millimetres between them. The CX-3 is marginally heavier than the Juke, while the Juke has a longer wheelbase and a smidge more ground clearance. Where this size difference is most evident is when it comes to boot space. The Juke has 422 litres compared with the CX-3, which has 264 litres. You can see here just how deep the Juke's boot really is. Meanwhile, while the CX-3's boot does make good use of its compact body size, there's a little less room for groceries. And importantly, neither of these two boots is going to have much room for the family dog. Sorry, pup.
Both cars have rear seats that fold 60/40 to increase cargo space, and both have a space-saver spare wheel under the floor.
In the front seat of the Nissan Juke, everything feels really premium. You've got these lovely leather quilted seats with the Alcantara inserts. You've got Alcantara inserts on the doors as well and leather touch points throughout the cabin. These look pretty racy, but they're actually super comfortable, plus they're heated, although they are manually adjustable. Head over to the central infotainment screen, which is 8 inches. The infotainment system is quite basic, but it's really easy to use, and you've also got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is a bonus. You've also got a second 7-inch digital display in between the instruments cluster, which also has a digital speedometer as well. Plus, plenty of storage throughout the cabin, a little dish here for your phone and keys and wallet, some central door bins, some cup holders, and a nice deep glove box here as well. In the back seat of the Juke, this sloping roofline makes things a little bit darker and the windows are a little bit smaller. There are also no air vents and no armrests, but there is a single USB charging port, some bottle holders in the door, and a couple of ISOFIX points on the outboard seats as well. Now, this lower roofline does mean that my headroom is a little bit reduced, and I do feel like my head is bumping up against the side here, but legroom with the seat in my regular driving position is actually quite good. In the front seat of the Mazda CX-3, you'll get these Nappa leather seats that are heated, and the driver's seat is electronically adjustable. You'll also get some lovely leather touch points throughout the cabin and a sparing use of black plastic, and things feel nice and light and bright thanks to the sunroof. There's also a 7-inch digital touchscreen with the infotainment system, although it's lacking Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. In the back seat of the CX-3, there's not much. There are no air vents, no USB port, but there is this central armrest with some cup holders in it and some ISOFIX points on the outboard seats. The windows feel a little bit bigger and it feels a little bit lighter and brighter than the Juke. However, the headroom is much the same and there's actually a little bit less legroom with the driver's seat in my regular driving position. Alright, so we're behind the wheel of the Nissan Juke and already I'm quite enjoying the high driving position. It feels like a proper SUV, although rearward visibility is a little bit limited because of that sloping rear windshield. It does feel like there's quite a substantial blind spot in this car, although that's compensated for by the blind spot monitor. Around town, the dual clutch transmission is noticeably jolty and the idle stop system is a little bit imperfect. It can take a few seconds to kick back in after it turns the engine off, which can make you sweat a little bit. The 3-cylinder engine has quite a distinctive noise to it, which some people might love, some people might hate, other people might just not notice at all.
Around suburbia, the Juke feels like it has ample power, but at speeds of 80 kilometers an hour and above, the acceleration response can be lacking and you become more aware of the smaller engine. Claimed fuel consumption in the Juke is 5.8 litres per 100 kilometres, but the real-world figure I recorded was 6.9 litres per 100 kilometres. The cabin is fairly quiet and also numbs the roughness of the road, but can come undone on sharper edges where reverberations can be felt up through the cabin. An 11-metre turning circle, front and rear sensors, and a 360-degree monitor make parking and turning in narrow streets no problem.
Alright, now I'm behind the wheel of the CX-3 and already ride height is a lot lower than the Juke and visibility is a lot more like your standard hatchback. The engine emits a consistent drone that personally I don't love, but it's not too noticeable, and otherwise sound in the cabin is fairly muted and it does a really nice job of soaking up any irregularities on the road. This is a lot more smooth on the road than the Juke and at lower speeds. The steering is really light and responsive, gear changes are really smooth, and the idle stop pairs nicely with the whole package. This has a slightly smaller turning circle than the Juke, about 10.6 metres. It's also got the front and rear sensors and the 360-degree monitor, so it's basically like parking and manoeuvring a hatchback.
Claimed fuel consumption in the CX-3 is 6.7 litres per 100 kilometres, but I recorded a real-world figure of 9.6 litres per 100 kilometres, far higher. Both the Juke and the CX-3 receive a full suite of safety and driver assistance tech as standard. This includes autonomous emergency braking, a forward collision warning, traffic sign recognition, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, active cruise with distance control, front and rear parking sensors, and a 360-degree view while parking. Some things the Juke TI has that the CX-3 doesn't include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a bigger infotainment screen, a second digital display in the instrument cluster, an extra 2 speakers in its sound system, and a speed limiter. And things the CX-3 has that the Juke doesn't includes an electronically adjustable driver's seat, a head-up display, and a sunroof. Both cars score a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. The Juke's is from 2019 and the CX-3's is from 2015, and both score a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty.
So which one should you pick? Both are excellent city cars with a solid amount of standard kit for under the $40,000 mark.
All in all, however, the ownership costs, cabin layouts, boot sizes, levels of standard equipment, and list prices of both cars are all stacked in favour of the Nissan Juke. To put it simply, the Juke looks and feels more like a top-of-the-range car than the flagship CX-3, and that, for many buyers, is the simplest test of bang for bucks.
Go on, cross over to the dark side, pun intended. Thanks for watching. If you want to read the full written comparison, head to caradvice.com.au. And if you liked our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you're updated the next time a new one goes live. And as always, if you have any questions, hit us up in the comments section below.